Hello, my name is Disorganized Aster. I am your friendly little non binary demon. I am a gamer. I am a veteran of the games industry. I have almost 20 years in quality assurance, and I love things like divination and um, video games, obviously, and food and uh, lots of things because I have ADHD, and so I just gather hobbies. So I am here to bring you my disorganized thoughts about the industry and everything else that I love. I thought I would come here and tell you stories from my time in the industry and about all the other things that I love. Um, I thought I would start today by telling you a little bit about what it's like working in quality assurance for as long as I did. I worked my way all the way up to quality assurance manager. So, not just working on the front lines, but also, you know, working with management, making the decisions on whether something should go out, uh, and arguing with producers, arguing with you know managers of other departments, telling, having to have the delicate conversations with people. Uh, I like to tell people that quality assurance isn't just, playing the game all day, every day. It is the delicate art of having to tell people all day, every day, hey, you made a mistake over here, without them getting mad at you and them being willing to hear you and take that feedback from you. And so it is a delicate art, not just the fine art of breaking things, though it is also the fine art of breaking things. Uh, you have to have a certain level of communication specialty in order to really be good at quality assurance, as well as being creative at breaking things. Um, it's really important to be able to communicate well and to be able to tell people that what they're doing sucks in a way that they won't take personally. Uh, and sometimes they're going to take it personally, and you have to be able to take it when they yell at you and know that, okay, they took it personally, and there's nothing I can do about them taking it personally, and just let it roll off of your back and go back to your desk and just be like, okay, okay, they called me some names. They said some things that were a little out of pocket. I could go to HR, but that wouldn't help the project. And I'm just going to let it go. And, tomorrow they're going to apologize and everything's going to be okay. uh, sometimes you take it for the team. Uh, because it is hard for people to constantly hear from the same person over and over again. Hey, you made a mistake. Hey, you did it wrong. Hey, you broke the thing. You checked something in that made the build break and now nobody can do any work. You know, hey, I caught you doing something that you weren't supposed to do. You know, will always be somebody on the team who's cheeky and thinks that they can just check whatever they want into the build and that they don't have to write any patch notes. And you're always going to have the fight with them that know they have to write patch notes. And there's always going to be somebody who thinks that they can just stay late and check something in when they've been drinking, and that will always cause bugs. And you always will have the fight with them that no, you shouldn't check things in when you've been drinking because it's always going to cause bugs. And they will always have the argument that drinking loosens them up and it lubricates them and it makes them more creative. And it's one of those facts of the industry that, there's always those people and you just got to deal with them. Especially when you're dealing with a project like an MMO, where you've got patches that you've got to release on time, and you're always under a time crunch. You're going to have people who feel pressure, and, crap rolls downhill. And QA is going to deal with the crap that everybody else is pushing downhill. And you've got to keep a sense of humor about it because it's very easy to get bitter. And it doesn't help anybody if the QA manager is angry all the time. You've got to learn to wield your anger as a weapon instead of being angry all the time. If you learn to be angry when it is appropriate to be angry, if you learn to be angry rarely, then people treat your anger like it is something that is very important. And you can affect change better when you are angry only when it is really important. And if you just kind of laugh off the bad behavior when it's not super important, you get along better with people and you can get away with requests and other stuff. But yeah, you see a lot of crazy stuff when you are, in the part of the downstream team, because you see all of the crazy things people try to get away with. You can't hide things from the downstream team. When you're at the very end of the process, you can't hide the crazy. You see all the crazy. And you see all the bargaining and the results of all the crazy bargaining that goes on at the beginning of the process. Producers and the developers will make these crazy bargains with each other, trying to get features into patches that have no right trying to get into these patches because they want to do the best for the players. Or sometimes they want to do the best for themselves. They have a pet project that they really want to see get out because they really want to show what they can do. But usually it's because they want to do the best for the players. And so they make crazy bargains for, hey, we'll push this out and maybe it'll make enough space for us to do this crazy thing that it's not gonna make it. It's not gonna make it. They're going to kill themselves doing overtime, working weekends, working while they're drunk because they've got bottles of alcohol at their desk for overtime work. And when nobody should work drunk because you make so many bugs when you're working drunk, but they do it. They do it so much. It's just a reality. People in the industry do have bottles of alcohol at their desks. And when they're working lots of overtime, they do work drunk. They do check-ins while they're drunk. And then my people have to find all of the drunk bugs. And it's aggravating. But, it's just a reality of the it's a reality of the system. But, sometimes sometimes it works. Sometimes the crazy works and the players do get to see the pie in the sky system or feature that the developer really had their heart set on. And it makes the players super happy. As aggravating as it can be for my team, as much overtime as it causes, as many bugs as it causes, and it's beautiful when that happens. But a lot of the time, the feature ends up watered down, and the players don't get to see the full realization of that feature. They get to see a half-baked version of that feature, and that's heartbreaking for everybody involved. So that is my first little ramble. Um, yeah, I really loved working in video games. And I really loved working in quality assurance. I When I worked in the lower end of of quality assurance, and I was just a tester, I loved breaking things. I still do. There is a joy in making something do something that it's not supposed to do. And reporting that and saying, hey, there's a mistake here. Hey, I can make this do something it's not supposed to do. Hey, you made a mistake. But as I grew in my career, there was a real joy in training people. And there was a real joy in collaboration with the development team in finding that, it's not a matter of, hey, you made a mistake, but hey, we're working together to make something that's great. I'm not telling you that this is bad because I'm wanting to tell you that you made a mistake. I'm telling you that there's a mistake here because I want us to make the best game we can possibly make. I believe the vision that we all have together, and my part in this is making sure that we are putting together the most solid version, the least breakable version that we can possibly make. And I loved training people. I loved bringing people up, seeing what people's strengths were and what people's weaknesses were and helping them grow. I really had a passion for it, and I thought it was just fabulous. So that's kind of where I come from. A little bit about me. Anyway, so that's what you can look forward to seeing on my channel. It is a little bit of reminiscing about my time in the industry. I will tell stories about where I came from, what I did, silly things that happened from projects that I worked on. I'll talk about my hobbies. Probably do some reviews of my tarot decks and things of that nature. And yeah, that's what you can look forward to seeing here. Uh, Disorganized Aster out.